Yep, stream died. Basically,
Yay!
I bet Kate died too. Kate, are you back?
Am I? Was I ever gone?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think it's just Max.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I can't explain it, folks, but it's it's always when I do something that like uses a bit of extra bandwidth, you know? So like moving the video window, or I guess in this case having a goblin Haruspex freak out. Too much Mud Witch. So, but we're back. We're back online.
Not enough bandwidth.
The stream can only handle so much voodoo.
It's so true. It's so true.
Like, all right, that's heresy.
It's like that. It wasn't even voodoo. I don't think. I don't know. I don't know that much about voodoo.
It's something.
Sorry about that, folks. We died briefly, but we are back. It was the haruspicy was too spicy. But we are back. Unfortunately, I think Danielle had to leave, so we will miss you.
Yes. Good night.
Good night.
Night, Danielle.
But Mavra speaks Goblins, so she can translate whenever that becomes necessary. Okay. So, as I was saying, she's freaking out over some magic that you guys are under. She tells you that she can clear it from you. She says, I can make you. They have tracked you, but I can wipe that away. With a frog of hiding. And she pulls out a frog. From where? Somewhere within her cluster of robes and bags. Perhaps a sleeve.
I mean, Akiri's gonna share a look with Bella. Like, I mean, it's not a bad idea.
So we come back with one more frog than we started with. So who's going to be mad about that?
That's true. I like frogs.
Yeah.
Yes, you will have to place the frog of hiding upon your head. And the one that spake the name that should not be spoken will have to place the frog of hiding upon their tongue. And the tongue of the frog of hiding shall indeed wipe this magic away for now until you make the same mistake again.
Cool.
Yeah,
I think we can do that.
I think so.
This is magic known by very few. It was taught to me by the frog talker herself.
Well, we won't tell anybody about it.
It will cost you many shinies.
How many do you need? Well, yes, we can consider it. Bella, help!
Too late. Akiri spoke. How many shinies? Another and another and another and another. Yes. Bob! How many shinies, Bob? And Bob, the human teenager, he looks to be about 15, turns toward you with his hands on his rotund belly. Pauses for a moment, considering. He says, well, ma'am, it would be only fair for Obfrat to take in 1,000 pieces of gold. Yes. Yes. This is well.
Akiri's gonna give the kid a look like, really?
He looks a little nervous at that. Are you going to try to intimidate him?
No, that's
Okay.
the only look she was giving him. She's not going further than that.
She says, or you could perform a task for me.
What is this task?
A quest of the Mud Witch. Yes.
I mean, I'm not against it. What's the task?
Bring me one head of the great Hydra. Only one. We don't need all 16. Or 7 or 9 or however many she has these days. Deep! Okay, we're gonna try not to break the stream. Deep within the mirror mist swamp. The Mistmire swamp. I said it right the first time. The creature lurks. The snaky beast, Hungry Kuna.
Wait, we saw her.
You have seen Hungry Kuna, who feasts upon the sacred frogs? And you did not fight her? What kind of adventurers are you?
This was after we fought shrimps.
Yes.
Are you people of your word?
Yes?
I require 1,000 shinies, or a head of Hungry Kuna.
Well,
Damn it, I should have intimidated the kid.
we should take this information back to our group. After all, 1,000 shinies is an awful lot of shinies, and to be honest, I'm not sure we'll be able to afford it. But,
Bob says, gold. Yes, yes. Boy, I am doing business with these non-goblins. Be silent. Bob
Akiri
turns
gives him
away.
another look like, for heaven's sake.
Bob looks a little nervous and turns away and goes back to grinding something up in a mortar and pestle.
Yeah, I think we'll have to go talk about it, but we'll be back.
Yes. Yes. You should have the Frog of Hiding ritual done soon, before they catch up with you again.
Well, last I saw they had a bomb drop down there. Their swirly whirlpool thing, so I feel like they might be busy with that for a little bit.
Perhaps, but you are marked by those who can find you. Across space, time, and the astral plane, and the other places. But go speak with your friends, for Nogtaz has the answers you seek. Trained by the frog talker herself, I was. Okay. We are going to cut over to stuff that is happening in the pub with Bref, Bella, Bliss, and Vapos.
Mavra, not Bella.
That's what I meant to say, yes. Bella's not there.
No.
So, you guys are have the other two left with a warning that Mavra communicated to you all. Now Mavra tugs on the sleeve of the nearest person. Who is that? Vapos?
We'll go with me.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go with me.
Vapos, Mavra tugs on your scale silk wrappings and points. You see a hooded stranger making his way across the busy, crowded pub straight toward your table that you're sharing with your friends. That's the guy, says Mavra.
Right. Well, I suppose it's time to have a conversation, I guess? Or do we want to run?
Mavra would say, I think we can take him if it comes to it.
I didn't realize Vapos was asking Mavra, but yes.
Oh, I was asking the group in general, but
Okay.
I don't know if we're all right next to each other, but if we are, sure.
Okay, so wait. There's just like a shady person who's just like looking at us.
he's coming towards us now.
Was looking at you. The half elf that I keep mentioning pointed you guys out to this figure, spotted by Akiri, who told Mavra with a 3rd level spell, and Mavra just told Vapos that he's coming over to you.
Okay. Let's see what he has to say.
Okay.
Then Vapos will turn around to face the guy as he's approaching.
Okay. It appears to be a weathered and somewhat, probably in his 50s, somewhat older than you guys, human. He has very dark skin, almost black, and kind of graying hair that stands out as he lifts up the just enough of his hood to look at you guys. He says, "Can't really talk here, but I'm given to understand that you folks might be sympathetic to our plight in this town."
Could you be a little bit more specific as to what part you mean?
Greenskin's running everything. He gestures at the mustachioed goblin, kind of oiling his hair behind the bar.
I was under the impression that everyone here was okay with the current state of things. I haven't seen much complaining.
He snorts. Right. Well, if you'd like to hear about a little bit more about that, meet me around back in the stables. And he pulls his hood down and turns to leave.
Max, can I do an insight check on this guy to try to get a read on his... I want to get a sense of, based on his body language and the way he's been speaking,
Go for it.
how he feels about the goblins. Specifically, obviously he doesn't like them. That's not what I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to get a read on this guy is, is this just racism, or is there actual like oppression happening here? Like, is this a man who is being oppressed, or is this a guy who's just racist? That's kind of the vibe. I'm trying to get the vibe from this guy.
Go ahead and make a insight check.
It's a dirty 20.
He's one of the very few humans you've noticed that is armed. He has a long sword with a wide guard at his waist, well hidden under the large cloak, but definitely recognizable. He's well built. He looks like easily has the body of a man of a fighter 30 years his junior. You sense a tinge of grief about him. So he certainly seems to speak of greenskins with derision and revulsion. But he also seems to have something else going on.
Thank you. As he's turning to leave, Bliss will kind of lean a little closer and say, "Could you tell me your name?"
He says, "Tucker Arrowheart. Meet me in the stables."
Thank you. And he will just give him a smile and.
You smile at his back as he whisks himself out of the room. You see that half elf closing the door behind him and looking over at you guys curiously.
You said Tucker Arrowheart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Max, can I just say that your NPCs are on point tonight?
Thank you.
I love all of them.
Good. Thank you. That means a lot.
Sorry.
What were you saying?
Bliss will turn to the others and say, "Well, I would very much like to get out of this town as soon as possible, but I'm guessing you are all going to want to investigate what he just said."
Vapos wants to take another look around the tavern at all of the kind of humanoid folks that aren't goblins.
Mm-hmm.
And given what this guy just said, he wants to see does it feel like there's kind of an air of like forced frivolity around here, or are people genuinely pretty comfortable in here with the goblins?
Insight.
Okay. Vapos is very tired, so this is going to be a disadvantage.
Bummer.
That is a 13.
You don't sense forced frivolity. People are relaxed around the goblins. There's a couple of people talking to one of the goblin guards is actually here. Seems to be on night shift, so they're thanking him, shaking the goblin's hand, paying him their shiny tax with a couple of paper clips, and there's there's a mood that it's a busy day in the pub, but they like being in the pub, and there's a lot of deference shown to the goblins. They'll bow to the goblins, but they're smiling. On the other hand, none of the goblins are doing things here that you have seen goblins do or heard of goblins doing.
Right.
So, it's hard to get more of a read on it. Certainly the half-elf, even he, to Vapos, seems more or less at ease. But you are he's certainly doing some different things.
Right. Okay. Vapos is just going to kind of shrug and he's just going to say, I'm more than willing to follow the rest of the group's lead on this, but it doesn't seem to me that these people are too oppressed, and it seems to be just a fairly normal society, just one that happens to be run by goblins.
I tend to concur. There are very serious problems in the world right now, and we're constantly getting hunted by evil shrimp demons. I think we can't let ourselves get distracted by everyone who comes asking for help, unfortunately.
Bliss will nod and just say, I agree. I think I'd personally rather move on as quickly as possible. I will say, I sensed that this man, well, that his discomfort was more than just petty, what's the word, prejudice against goblins. I sense there's something more to his derision. But, of course, without talking to him, I can't know what it is. At the same time, I am in agreement. I feel we need to keep moving. Whatever ills are happening here, it doesn't seem like it's a too terrible place in its current state. Perhaps we should meet up with Akiri and Bella.
That certainly makes sense to me.
I believe they were heading towards the not chemist. That's not what it was. What was it called? The
Herbalist.
Herbalist. I believe they're heading to the herbalist. So I say we go meet up with them and see if they've found anything interesting with the Mud Witch.
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay. So you guys, instead of going to the stables to meet up with Tucker Arrowheart, you take your leave from the pub and try to meet up with Bella and Akiri. Bella and Akiri, you guys are heading back to the pub, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So you guys make your way through town. Mostly, some of you are walking on High Hill Way. Others are on the cobbled way. And of the flowered path. And you're seeing the bustling town going along. There are people, getting out of the way of the goblins. There are a couple of people running carts while goblins are kind of smacking them with little riding crops. Some of them seem to be in a hurry to go see his smugness. Others are doing business in the market round. And a goblin child runs up to Bella and I'm sorry. A goblin child runs up to Bliss, Vapos, and Bref. He says, Are you the Wanderers?
Why, yes.
I have a quest from the guard captain
Oh,
for you.
um,
He pulls out a rolled up piece of parchment similar to the one that you received previously, the previous day. He says, "As thanks for you paying your taxes again." Yes.
I would be absolutely delighted to accept this message from you, young one, and because you were so good at your job, and I pull out, I suppose at this point, a single silver piece. Here's a shiny just for you.
Yes, taxes for me. He accepts your shiny with incredible glee and hands over the parchment. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say Bliss will offer to read it, since I don't think Breath can read.
Okay. It is a report with a lot of officious and unnecessarily officious language by a goblin ranger scout. Saying that a powerful dreamwalker was found unconscious in the woods outside town to the east. A day to the east. And they wish to that he is being guarded by monsters, crazed perhaps by the spreading taint of his dreamwalking, and they would like to capture or rescue this dreamwalker. It's hard to tell because I'm not going to take 5 minutes to say the unnecessarily elaborate language with bad spelling that is in this report by a Goblin Scout. It does mention a large glowing crystal.
Well, I suppose we can talk about this with Akira and Bella, but I feel this falls under the category of things we don't have time for.
Okay. It does say that this quest has been remanded to the Wanderers and that there is a reward.
I mean,
Is it at all clear what that reward is, or is it overly officious and vague on that part too?
Yes. The reward is 100,000 shinies. Last time it said a bazillion.
Right.
guys,
In the other quest.
question. Do we want to go after the Dreamwalker or the Hydra?
It depends. The 100,000 Chinese could be coppers.
It's still
Or
100,000.
Ball bearings.
They're shinies.
Or paper clips.
And we need 1,000 so we don't get attacked by shrimps.
But like I mean, sure, fair enough. It's just we don't know how this is gonna line up.
Yeah, and it's shiny. She doesn't care.
No, I thought she said it had to be gold shinies.
Bob
The
said it
teenager
had-
said
No,
that.
Bob
Yeah.
said it had to be gold.
So we just kill Bob, and oh no.
So Akiri will actually try to intimidate him next time.
and seduce him.
Dude, he's 15!
Oh, right, never. Ew. Oh.
At the same time as you guys are reading that quest, Bella and Akiri are emerging from the herbalist and walking down the cobbled path. A troop of goblins, some of them guards in guard uniforms that have been cut down to their size, and a couple of them with large trumpets come tooting along Off-Market Merchants Row. And a goblin in like covered in medals, 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 and just all kinds of frippery and ribbons, is coming marching along, and he periodically stops and announces, "By order of His Smugness, Narzag the Smug, long may he reign, all eyebrows are now outlawed. Razors can be obtained from your local guardhouse." And you see some of the goblins shrieking and yelling and laughing. And the humans kind of look worried. But some of them just right there in the street start pulling out their blades, their daggers or knives or whatever, and just trying to cut off their hair, shave off their eyebrows.
Bliss gives you all a look that you all immediately register as not as long as I live on this face of Earth.
So you kind of spot, you guys are hearing this, you guys kind of spot each one another, your two groups across this path right here, right? And the announcement goes on, and then so the goblins are mostly forming into groups and kind of checking. Now the goblins, they pull out their some of them have eyebrows. Some of them already seem to have shaved them, like they got the memo early or something. But they enthusiastically are obeying this law. The humans, they don't look so delighted about this.
Akiri's looking around and then turns to Bella and says, "This is the weirdest town."
Yeah. Well, whatever we wind up deciding to do, hopefully we're not actually going to have to be here for that much longer.
Yeah, I hope so too.
There's a woman nearby trying to corral a couple of her children. She's like, "Hold still, dears. We have to do what the goblins say."
Alright, let's go find the others.
We're literally right.
Oh, you guys are?
Yeah, we can see you.
Yeah, you just met up along this road here.
Gotcha. Well, what do you guys find? Anything?
Oh, they want us to have the Dreamwalker for 100,000 shinies.
Or, also apparently we're cursed. Or we can uncurse ourselves by cutting off a head of a Hydra and bringing it back here to the Mud Witch.
Could you be a little bit more specific as to what curse you're talking about this time?
Shrimp.
It's very shrimp related.
Oh.
What she's trying to say, I think, is that we can get rid of the shrimp assassins by taking advantage of a hiding spell that the Mud Witch happens to have access to. She has agreed to trade it to us for either one of the heads of the Hydra or 1,000 gold shinies, excuse me.
The gold was up in the air.
Bliss is going to... Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Bliss will just go look at the piece of paper in his hand and look at what you guys and what you just said, and he's just going to look at it and goes, no. Really? I guess we could do this, and maybe. I'm not really fond of the idea of fighting a Hydra, but maybe the Streamwalker thing won't be so bad.
No, remember when we were going through the swamp and we saw the Hydra?
Okay.
Because we've seen her, and I don't wanna. I know we only need one head, but I don't wanna.
Yeah, no, it would have to be the 1,000 gold option, which is incredibly expensive, but on the other hand, possibly worth it if it is able to hide Vapos from the people who are trying to assassinate.
Well, this
I agree.
job might give us the money we need for it then. I mean, depending on what 100,000 Chinese it's a bit.
Well, I, for one, am certainly eager to get rid of this as quickly as possible. And so I'm going to kind of look around because we're in the middle of the street and we were warned to be careful about this kind of thing. But Vapos will just say, I can put up about half of that price.
I'd definitely be willing to contribute.
Yes, I've been saving up my gold as well.
Well, I suppose for something this important, I think I also would have enough. By the way, a platinum is 10 gold, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
But-
you're not going to
Oh my.
care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're not
exactly.
going to care. I think I have enough to. I have not half, but I have a decent amount as well.
Yeah, I have almost a quarter.
In that case, maybe we should buy this, and yeah, I think it would be worth it to get the assassins off our backs. If we really think that her spell would work.
I'm inclined to believe in it.
If it doesn't, we can always come back and retrieve our money.
Well,
Carrie kind of shrugs. I mean, I kind of believe her because she popped open a rat and realized we were cursed. So
how
It's a
much
cool-
did you say about the curse versus how much did she say about the curse?
not at all. She figured it out herself.
Well, if that's the case, then I'm willing to spend my money in order to try to stop this. Because I'm getting tired of having to look over my shoulder.
I agree.
All right, well, let's not waste any time. He's kind of looking at the goblins with the shavers a little nervously. I say we go over to the herbalist and get this done, and then leave this town.
I'm not against
Sounds
it
good to
either.
me.
Also, what was that? Cloaky? Was everything okay with that? He looked shady.
Oh, this place is probably cursed by goblin monkey control or some sort of oppression or whatever. This place is probably not good at all.
No, it gives me weird vibes. Feels
He
like that.
he wanted to speak to us about the problem of rulership. And we decided not to get into it with him.
Yeah, I think we've had enough we've had enough overthrowing governments, I think, for 1 year.
All right.
We're not even halfway through it, and we already took over a major city.
Bliss is trying to hide behind anyone, but you are all, except for Vapos, shorter than him, and is failing miserably.
There are the children are crying now as their mother is shaving off their eyebrows. The goblins march by. It's a little hard to tell what their expression is now. But Yes, yes! They come marching up. As you guys are heading to the herbalists. Formerly the herbalists. Yes! You must obey the edict! And this goblin shakes this long stick covered in bells.
I don't have eyebrows.
Find a way! There's some group of goblin guards looking at you guys. You can tell they're smiling because they're grinning, showing their long, pointy teeth.
We're actually on our way out of the city. So if you'll excuse us, we'll be out of town and therefore not subject to the law anymore in just a few minutes.
One of the guards says, "Leaving town tax."
Akiri slips him a copper.
With fine for not obeying the edict. 10 shinies each.
Bliss
Oh, of
rolls.
course.
Bliss rolls his eyes, but hands over 12 silver. 2 for the. 11 silver, 1 for the tax.
There's this woman nearby who looks very pretty, and has finely done up hair, but she's wearing like a simple milkmaid's clothing. And she looks over and she says, "Oh, wait. If we pay 10 shinies, we can keep our eyebrows?" The goblins say, "That is the fee for non-compliance. Yes, yes." She goes, "Well then." And she throws her razor down on the ground and starts counting out some shinies.
So Vapos is going to, Vapos is just going to look to the guard. Is the law that no one is allowed to have eyebrows, or that everyone must shave off their eyebrows?
They look at each other. The one covered in ribbons and medals with the stick of bells pulls open the parchment and reads it. He leans forward until his long nose touches it, and he uses it like a pointer to follow the words on the page. Eyebrows are hereby banned. He rolls it up. Does that answer your question?
So I guess no eyebrows.
I believe it does. So, since my friend here does not have eyebrows, then she is in compliance with the law. She has no eyebrows.
Yes, yes. How very fortunate for her.
Similarly, I do not have eyebrows. Mine look like eyebrows, but they are just water. See?
That counts. Shave off his blue eyebrows.
I will literally put my finger through my eyebrow, and the water will wipe away, and then it reforms.
The goblins kind of gather around to One of them stands on the other's shoulders. Come here. He takes out a razor.
Okay.
And he's trying to shave off your eyebrows. He grabs your head and he's like, confirmed. He cannot comply.
It is not a real eyebrow, as I said.
One of them says, maybe the chemist can help. All of his hair fell out. That's why he wears that white wig. Yes, you must see the chemist about a baldness potion. Or perhaps the mud witch can curse them off.
I am on my way to see the mud witch as we speak.
Good, be off with you. Be off with you. Pink one. Yes, sir. You must shave off your eyebrows. Everybody must comply or pay the fee.
already paid him. As soon as that was an option, he'd already shoved 12 silver into
Okay.
Goblin's hand.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you trying to bribe me?
Is it working?
Yes. He pockets it. You will receive a quest soon, adventurer.
Excellent.
All right. Unless you guys want to do something else, you will be able to make your way to the herbalist. The
No,
Mud
we're
Witch now.
hustling to the herbalist.
Okay. So they pass. They check out Vingel's produce where the milkmaid was and make sure that she pays her fee. But you guys make your way to the Mud Witch. And the rest of you can now crowd into this already crowded room and get assaulted by the many conflicting smells. In fact, there's so many of you in her little place that she kind of pushes out Bob to stand. Has to stand just outside, and he's kind of sadly holding a stone mortar and pestle, and just kind of watching from outside. And she says, "There are an awful lot of you."
Yeah, we'd like to get that frog from you.
So many people being tracked by these assassins. The frog talker would not be happy about this.
Yes. We understand that you have a very reasonable price for this.
Yes. 1,000 shinies. Thank you, Bob.
Bliss will look rather pleased. He won't say anything, but in his brain he's thinking, "She didn't say gold."
No, she didn't.
And he will turn to the others and bring out, go to like, is there like a table or something where we can start like pulling these together?
She's covered the table up in her stuff again. Actually, there's a dead rat spread out on it with all of its guts. But she just wipes that, throws it on the floor.
Okay.
Snack for later.
Bliss whispers to the others, "If possible, I would start with the lower denominations and work our way up from there. I currently have 87 silver, but I also have plenty of gold."
I can throw 31 silver at you.
And I have 32.
Vapos will pull out 6 copper pieces, 69 silver, and then he's going to count out another 425 in gold.
Just so you guys know, the man with no screen name was yelling "Go Hydra" in chat.
No. No.
We got places to be, man with no screen name.
We're not fighting her. Please no.
So Bliss is over 200 pieces of gold. So I think with what we have from the lower denominations from Breath, Akire, and Bliss, and then add my 200 and...
Here, hold on. Let's start again. So Akiri has 31. Nico, how many silver did you have?
87.
87. Breath?
32.
Vapos?
So with my contribution, adding all of that together, I've got 650.
Just the silver.
I had 75 in copper and silver.
Gotcha. And then Bella, are you throwing anything in?
I only have 8, so I'll throw those in.
Cool.
Mavra would have 50 of the lower denominations.
Okay. Do you want to add that in, or do you want to let her make that decision for herself?
Oh, Mavra and I talked about it off mic. She's
Okay.
good with that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so just below denominations, that's 263.
So how much did Vapors have?
I've got that as 283.
You're probably right.
So I think with Vapors gold, how much did you have again?
I was just going to add in another 425 on top of that to make it an even 500 that I'm contributing.
All right, I have 219 gold that I can add to that.
All right, how far are we away from 1,000 shinies at this point?
That brings us to 927.
I'll
What?
throw in the red.
Oh,
You sure?
okay.
Yeah. That would be 73.
Yep.
I'm still feeling okay. That leaves me with 15 platinum.
Yeah, we'll be fine, money-wise.
All
But
right.
let's get at here. I can't. My shinies are suddenly way more valuable.
So you guys can give over 1,000.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, she counts them meticulously. Yes, yes. Bob outside is like crying. The teenager he starts crying. He's like shaking his head and crying.
Hey, he got some gold.
The Mud Witch pulls out a small brazier and lights a fire. A multicolored fire that fills the room with a strong and mysterious fragrance. Like sandalwood, cedar, and pond scum all mixed together. She takes out her sickle and waves it around. She starts hopping up and down and chanting things in Goblin. Mavra can translate that this is a supplication to the power of mud, and mentions the great frog talker in Thurbu Quagmire. And she and Mavra also whispers that the part of the chant goes into the curse of finding from the forgotten, and those who hide below. She speaks of dreams and memories, and things start to get a little bit hazy as the thick incense of the burning flame fills your senses. It almost feels like it's not just your nose, but it's in your eyes, your mouth, your ears. It's a thick, heavy fragrance. You start to feel a little woozy. That breakfast beer probably didn't help. And she takes out 5 green and brown spotted frogs. From where? You do not know. They seem to appear from her sleeves. And she places these frogs, kind of reaching up or gesturing for you to bend down, on each of your heads. And she starts hopping up and down, continuing to chant. And as the chanting continues, the frogs on your heads begin to hop up and down in time with the Mud Witch. And you feel that heavy fragrance. It's almost like it's starting to fall away. She pauses in her hopping up and down and says in common, "Stick out your tongues! Like this! Like this! She stares at you with one red and one yellow eye.
Vapos will do it.
Yep.
The frogs hop from your heads onto your tongues, and you're struck by almost like an electric shock through your body. And the frogs hopping once upon your tongues then leap into the flame, which flares up bright, blinding you. And I need everybody to make Constitution saving throws.
All right, I'm using my inspiration on this one.
Okay.
I'm sure glad I didn't.
Wow. Well, I guess only count the first one.
Okay.
Who's gonna save me?
Okay. Bliss and Bella. You guys have just licked a frog. And all of that stuff happened. You remember in Avatar when he drinks from the cactus?
Mm-hmm.
You're at like half that. You are high. The rest of you kind of felt a little something, and then it passed. The Mud Witch starts clearing stuff away. She says, "Yes, yes." And the rest of you, all of you feel extremely light. Almost weightless. It's only affecting two of you in the way that, like, it's actually affecting your brain function. You'll have disadvantage on some things. Especially critical thinking. But the rest of you all feel this kind of this lightness, as though some kind of heavy weight has been lifted off of you. And she says, "That worked!" She almost seems surprised. "The power of the frog talker is strong. Yes, yes."
Damn right it is.
Ma'am, you have our sincere thanks. That was truly astounding.
A very polite barbarian. Yes, yes. She pokes at you. "Come back any time, handsome."
Oh,
And stares at you with the red eye.
I promise that the next time I come to this fine town, I will make it a point to stop by and see you.
We could do much with those bones you carry.
I'm shocked into silence that she knows of the bones.
It is greatly appreciated that you would do this. I do have another request.
Do you want to know how to find the frog talker?
Actually, I'm more interested in ensuring that this mistake does not happen again. See, when I spoke the name that I should not have spoken, I did so while dreaming. So I was wondering if you had any method for blocking such dreams.
Dreams come from the goddess of dreams. The one worshipped by those who protect the great art. She is called by many names, but she is very secret. For those who would twist her power and harness it, not for a utopia. She gestures around herself as though she is in a utopia. But to control everything. Yes! You will have to seek guidance from the muse.
Well, that should be pretty easy.
I see. Thank you for your advice. It is most helpful.
Yes. Only the great bards can talk to her directly.
Well, Bella's pretty great.
An excellent travel writer, so I've heard.
Oh, not relevant here, but thank you.
Well, I wish you all adieu. Come back if you have any more questions for the great Nogtaz Ompfrat. And she shoos you out of her shop. As you guys stumble out into the street, followed by a wave of strong-smelling smoke, you hear, distantly from the south of town, a great, terrible, and recognizable
Oh no.
and see several goblin guards running in that direction as we close out tonight's session. Thank you all very, very much for playing. That was a lot of fun. Thank you to Taladar and the man with no screen name, keeping it lively in chat. I love all the puns. Man with no screen name. I didn't have the chance to read them out to everybody tonight, but they were great, you guys. Totally frogaloo. Thank you to Jeremy, player of Bref. Thank you to M, player of Akiri. Thank you to Kirsten, player of Bella. Thank you to Nico, player of Bliss. Thank you to Corey, player of Vapos. And a big thank you, as always, to Danielle, who generally has to leave early, but thank you for playing Mavra. Danielle, you're awesome. Thank you to anyone who watches this later. Thank you to the people who followed the stream recently. And thank you to recently did a raid on the stream a week ago. That was really cool. We Make Bad Plans did that. Very cool streamer. Go check them out too. Guys, have a great night. Have a great week. That was a lot of fun. I wish we could keep playing all night.
Yeah, that was an awesome session. Thanks, Max.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Hey, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.